KDB.
Take it. Barakaza, baba, za baba. Yendo number uno, yesu number uno. Yeah. Number uno, yendo number uno.
Si chocha.
What is working in my life, oh? Working in my life.
Praise the Lord, and thank you once again for joining us for another episode of the Angaza Show. My name is Pastor Tim Wangi. They say that leadership or everything crumbles or succeeds with leadership. Well, any chaos you see globally in a corporation, in an organization, in a ministry, automatically is connected to leadership. But the paradox is you can never lead others if you cannot lead yourself. And today we want to go to the reality of self-leadership. We have many broken people trying to lead men who are already sober and okay. We have people who have positions and possibly by merit, but they never qualified when it comes to self-leadership. And today we want to look at that matter and just delve on it on how do you begin by leading self before you even lead others. And I believe this is the greatest leadership that is needed before any office assumption and titles. So we'll be delving into this topic immediately after the musical break with DJ Anderson. So welcome back and thank you very much for joining us once again. If you're joining us right now, we want to discuss on the topic of self-leadership. Many people are good with other people's matters, but very few people are good with their own matters. In fact, sometimes people give you advice that they ought first of all to listen to before you even implement it. And with us is a specialist on that particular field, and we'll just begin with basic introduction. Maybe let's begin with your name.
Thank you, Pastor T.
Yes.
My name is Sharon Musyoka. I speak to inspire leadership, purpose, and well-being. And for leadership, I'm very passionate about self-leadership. And so that forms the basis of starting the platform Lead You. So Lead You is about leading yourself and taking initiative to make things happen. That things are not going to turn around unless you make them turn around.
Wow.
So over and above that, Lead You, there's a story behind Lead You.
What's the story, if you don't mind sharing?
Yes. There's a long story of 10 years in corporate world, in media, specifically advertising, and 3 years in management. And also I did 6 years in board leadership at the community level. And so that informs a lot of the lessons that I've collected along the way. And for me, one of those lessons that stand out loudly is self-leadership, purpose, and well-being as key drivers of good leadership.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty much about me. I wear many hats, but because we're talking about leadership for today, let's talk about Lead You.
Okay,
yes.
So Lead You is an organization or something that is it an initiative?
Yes, it is an initiative that I started from that drive and that passion of seeing what good leadership can do.
Okay.
That have seen through that journey, have seen organizations rise and organizations go on their knees because of bad leadership. I've seen people rise because they were held by other leaders and led well. I have seen societies changed because of good leadership. And so Lead You is basically to advocate for good leadership. With good leadership, we can change the world.
Okay.
Yes.
So you basically believe for there to be good leadership, you must lead self.
Yes, absolutely.
How do you begin that journey? How do you even know that, okay, you are leading self?
It's very simple because we all grow up with dreams. We have these big minds of greatness. There's a sense of greatness in every person. But stepping into putting the dream or actioning towards that dream becomes a big challenge for so many people. And so how did I arrive there myself? I found myself in a career for 10 years doing advertising, and it wasn't going the direction I wanted in terms of where I'd projected myself the next like 10 years. So from there, I needed to make hard decisions, transitioning from media to consulting firms, smaller firms. But I needed to lead myself in that aspect, that you cannot sit and wait for your boss to get you to your 10-year dream.
Wow.
It's not going to be them. There's so much expectation, and especially when you're a young professional, you sit in an office, you do the job right, and things are not turning around, and you start to blame your boss. At the end of, after 10 years, it will not be the boss to blame. The buck stops with us.
That's right.
And so for me, the passion around self-leadership is seeing how it has changed my life from that moment. That stepping out and taking that risk into new territories, new industries, has become such a game changer for me. And so that's what I advocate for, that no one is coming to do it for you.
You have to have the self-drive.
Yes, we have dreams, but a lot of us finally end up never achieving those dreams because we are waiting for someone to come do it. We almost like want it done, but not us to do the dirty work.
Okay.
So it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of discipline, a lot of, the greatness you see around is not handed over in silver platters. People have worked hard into it. Yeah, so nothing comes, that easily. There's a price to pay.
What are some of in this self journey and, just coming to a place of leading self?
Yes.
What are some of the areas that you think everyone ought to check and begin to work on them? Because all of us will be thinking we are doing the right thing, but we are still on the flows of life, and later to realize that, hey, it's 10 years later, and possibly it was supposed to be you work on yourself. What are some of the key areas in this journey that you've realized, where I've dealt with many people and this has been repeated?
So I think that we are so caught up in the things that we are used to. We are so comfortable around the comfort zones that we do not want to step into the unknown.
Okay.
So we never give ourselves the chance to step into the unknown because of being in a comfortable place. So that's one indicator that you're not growing. Your comfortable growth does not happen in comfortable spaces. So for those dreams to happen, we have to step out into the unknown. The place we are afraid of is where that thing is going to be born from. So I see a lot of, and especially because I speak to professionals, because that's the journey I personally took, I see a lot of us professionals stuck in industries. I've been in the banking for 20 years, but I'm afraid of leaving. I want the change, but I do not want to get into the unknown.
The risk.
The risk. No one wants to take the risk, but we all want to grow. So it's that place of getting to an awareness that we have to detach from the comfort zone. It's for that growth to happen. There is no two way about it. You have to detach from the comfort zone. I think for me, I was really comfortable for those 10 years, but I still wanted growth. And how did I get to the level that now I could, pull the gun? I took a journey. I should say that the reason I also tie purpose into leadership is because it comes quite in handy when it comes to discovering yourself and also getting into that self-realization of where you want to go and why you're going there. So for when things were not now changing for me, I really went deeper into church. Like I got into church deeper. You know, like this woman with the issue of blood who said that if I can only touch the hem of his garment, things would turn around. And so for me, I was getting into church deeper and into ministry, hoping for a turnaround for my career. And so yes, there was growth in terms of my career, but I realized that there was also a shift within myself that sort of kicked my soul back to life, to a realization of really who I am, that I am more than probably what was tying me from moving on or from making that next step. So I would say that having that awareness from a place of purpose, from a place of really discovering who you are, who you truly are from within, is a beginning point to leading yourself, because then it's from that experience, that shift, that transformation that gave me the confidence, that gave me the courage to step out, to go after that me, that person, that I am more than the paycheck.
Wow.
You know, I am more than these things that have come to define me, but instead they have clouded the person of who I am. In essence, they have they have covered me. So the process that I went deep into ministry and into church and into worship sort of was removing those layers of things that had covered who I was truly, I mean, from within. And so I was confident to go after that.
So the first step of self-leadership is self-discovery.
Yes, I would say that. I would say that.
And that discovery, as I'm hearing from your story, is that it can only come from God.
Oh yes, absolutely. Probably someone would define it otherwise, but for me and my personal story is that it was from a place of getting back to the maker.
Okay.
And the maker giving you a different confidence away from the externals that we hold on to so tightly.
Yeah, because these external salary,
Yes.
job security,
Yes.
sometimes they may be our security, but deep down killing the true us and the identity.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so that is a beginning point around finding who you are, and then with that confidence, then it gives you that drive to go after yourself. And so with that drive, it comes a lot of responsibility, that you no longer have anyone to blame for who you are becoming. Now it's no longer about it's this boss, it's I don't know what is not happening. It is now, it all comes back to you. So that I would say that self-leadership also comes with a lot of moving things around your life. That if you keep postponing things that you want to do, there's something you need to check within yourself around self-leadership. You wanted to go back for that master's, you have not yet gone back. There's something around self-leadership that is not working. And so you cannot claim to want to go lead other people and push their agenda when your agenda is failing. To some extent, there is a problem. And why I now again tie leadership into well-being is because a lot of it is also tied to how well we are doing from our souls. How well we are functioning as a spirit, as a soul, and as a body. Because I see that when my spirit got that life back, there was a direct transfer from the spirit to the soul to the body. Like there was just a shift that the body is no longer now just moving alone to do things, but there's purpose tied to everything that the body is waking up to do. And so for me, I'd say that purpose and well-being are key drivers when it comes to
self-leadership.
Self-leadership.
And no procrastination.
Yes, and entirely anything to do with leadership.
Does self-leadership affect general leadership?
Yes, it does. It does. I said that our push is around good leadership. And when we talk about leadership, it's you've been put to be in charge of a group. You have the responsibility of inspiring those people to influence them towards a certain vision or a goal. And so if you do not have you've not built an in-house or an inside, you've not done an inside job around yourself to lead yourself well and to make your dreams a reality, there is a possibility that you'll not be able to lead the team and also to influence that team towards that vision. So, good leadership, rather leadership ties back to self-leadership. That you are so driven, you're visionary. Even when you're put under a team, the same almost translates into team dynamics. So charity begins from home.
Okay.
It must start with us,
achieving
our own dreams, achieving our own visions, even as we step out into helping other people do that.
Wow. I want us to take a small musical break. This is a heavy conversation because in the next segment, I want us to diagnose the reality of our current leadership, especially the political space and even the church leadership, and see whether we are lacking in something.
All right.
Because if you say that, I'm beginning to see many things, and I'm wondering, could we take this lecture to some of the people that we know? Anyway, we'll be right back immediately after the musical break with DJ Andy. See, we're talking about leadership, and this is self-leadership. So thank you very much for joining us. If you are joining us right now, we are talking about self-leadership. And I know that this is a very important topic, key thing to discuss. Many people have titles and positions, but they failed before they even got the positions because how they led themselves and how they carry themselves is something that ought to be audited. We've looked at two things. Purpose is very important. Take away everything that surrounds you and get to know who you are. No procrastination. It is about doing that thing right now, overcoming fear. This can only be achieved if you have a very serious spiritual foundation, because comfort is the enemy of progress. Now we are here, and you've said naturally when we look at the extended leadership, it's automatically a reflection of failure in personal leadership. When we look at the political space and all that area, do you think we select people that have self-leadership, or we just elect people who are popular?
Sometimes we are lucky to select people who actually are purposefully driven. We are lucky sometimes. But a lot of times we confuse politics and politicians with leaders. Those are two different things. Being a good politician has nothing to do with your leadership capabilities. You can be a very good politician, but a pathetic leader. But that does not say that all politicians are bad leaders. You can also be a very good manager, but a very bad leader. Because leadership is so much about people. And why I talk about good and advocating for good leadership.
So leadership is not about positions. Because, for us, you're called an MP, mheshimiwa, when mkubwa, when kiongozi.
Yes.
So it's about the people.
It is about the people.
So what you're saying is that you can be a good pastor, you can be a good politician, you can be a good manager, but at the end of the day, a failed leader.
Yes. But you can also be a good manager, a good politician, and a good leader.
Okay.
But the gap that we are addressing is that the awareness is not there.
Mm-hmm.
That the moment I have a title, I'm a leader. I feel that I'm rightfully a leader. But leadership goes beyond the results. And that's what we are saying. That leadership is about the people. As a leader, when people put you into positions of leadership, they're giving you a trust. And they're hoping that their lives would be better through your leadership. That you're driving them, that you know the way, you're going to show them the way, and you're going to take them there.
Okay.
So it's a trust that people give you as a leader. Even when we talk now about the political, arena, when we elect you into positions of leadership as our members of parliament or senators or whoever, our expectations as Mwananchi is that our lives will become better. And so the disappointment that comes with expectations that are not met, you obviously can see it. And so as a leader, or the person now with the title, you're wondering, because you assumed that being in leadership is having that title. But being in leadership is about these people.
Okay.
How are their lives being transformed? I started this church 10 years ago. How have my members' lives transformed over the years? Yes, I have fed them with the word. I have done as a pastor. I have done very well. And the aspect of leading now is where you come down to how are these people doing? How are their lives changing? Yeah, that now ties into good leadership. And so when I think the gap, especially around management and all these titles when it comes to leadership, it's just a misinformation that people have only understood leadership to mean results, and they have not been introduced in the other side of leadership. It's about people, and it's such a delicate space to be at when you look at it now critically, because you're being handed souls to take care of.
That's what.
God is trusting you with lives to either break them
Or make them.
Those
are destinies.
Those are destinies that you're carrying as a leader. And so that's the sensitivity of it, that either people are not aware of it or it's just not something that has been spoken about.
I'm also learning, I'm also learning. I thought because I'm a good pastor, I'm a good leader. So I'm really getting the gist of, it's about the transformation of the people.
People, yes.
And that means that there are many people who are literally leading, but they have no positions.
Yes, yes. That's the other thing. That's the other thing. There are many people who are leading and do not have those positions. The people around me, they have really not looked into, I am the board chair. I would speak of myself, for instance. By the time I was being appointed into board leadership at community level, there's so much that I was doing, but I really didn't want to go back into the village and become, part of board leadership. I didn't. But people already can see you're already leading us without a title, so you're worth leading us. So they can trust you now. They're giving you a trust because they have seen you've been leading us without really a title, but now we trust you now. We trust you that you can take us somewhere. So yes, there are so many people who are leading without a title because they're using whatever is within their disposal, whether it is their resources, whether it is their skills, whether it is their talents. They're using that for transformation, for making lives better, transforming. And so that is what leadership is all about. We'll talk about people like Wangari Maathai as having been very great leaders. Why? Because they were advocating for a cause bigger than themselves, and transforming, environment in that. I mean, she did so well in that space, and she stands out as someone who lived a purpose through leadership. And so I'd say that leadership is a tool and an asset for change, for advancing good, but we really don't use it.
Wow.
We don't use it.
There's something you said before you even got live on camera. You spoke about self-esteem and how self-esteem actually contributes to the ability to rise and become a self-leader, begin to lead self. Because there are many people who have the potential, the ability, but some are broken. They've just not risen. How do you deal with your self-esteem?
I think I only had my esteem crushed once. But as a child, I grew up a very assertive personality. I don't know how that happened, but for me growing up, I was always a child that wants to lead, a child who wants to be the next prefect, a child that wants to be seen on the cameras. I was that proactive child growing up. But at some point that was sort of like took a detour at some point. And it was within these 10 years on the same level, and my career is not growing. I did not understand now that. I could not understand how growth does not happen for me. I mean, I'm always growing. I'm always growing. When I go for something, it translates. But for this particular season, it challenged my personality and my identity. And so, as I said, going back to church, like in a deep way, really going so deep and having that consistent like assurance and a lot of, word going into of who you are as a person. You're a child of God. There's greatness that you are born with. That changed. That started giving me life. That started speaking back into who I am. That it's not about who you're describing me to be. It is actually who I am. And the reason you cannot describe me in why you can't see it is because it's not you who is carrying that thing. It's special for me. And so for people who've been crushed along their career journeys at whatever space, what I would say is that it's never about what people are saying about you. It's about what the Spirit is speaking to you about yourself from within. Because that greatness is not in other people. It is in you. And we are all born into that greatness, we are supposed to lead, because there's something so unique about us. There's something so, we are special in our own ways. And so bringing that special thing and uniqueness into the world is what creates influence, it's what creates followership, and that's how we lead. So I don't believe that anyone should be put in a space of feeling like they can't lead. And leadership is not loud mouth. Leadership is not that you're the loud one. The people lead very well, but they are quiet. It's about the actions we are taking for ourselves and for the communities around.
Are leaders born or are they made? I know it's a philosophical question.
Yes. Yes. I would argue that they're both born and made.
Okay.
That by virtue of, and I tie it to myself, as I walk this journey, I look back and realize, wait a minute, I'm almost taking after my dad in this space of being very passionate about leadership, about community. So why I would say that it's born is that there are things that are transferable to us from our parents. That you're born from, your father was a pastor, you'd likely translate into a pastor. Somehow you carry it with you. You're born into, a father was a leader, you're likely to carry it forward. Over and above that, there's the uniqueness that you are born with. That gives you the right to lead in your own right. You get that, yes, I'm not coming from a family of leaders, but there's something that God gave me, that the way I play the guitar, no one can play it.
Wow.
So I lead in that space and in that way. Because when it comes to playing the guitar, you all have to, I just have this thing, you can't get it. It's something that you can't just get it. And that is what I was talking about, being born with something so unique that everyone cannot say that they're not born to lead.
Wow.
Because of that unique thing.
Thank you very much. I think my take-home point is that you can be a good pastor, but fail to be a good leader. Because leadership is about the people, and anything that doesn't touch the people could be good, but it boils down to leadership. That's been an amazing conversation. Thank you for your time. Apparently, I don't know who created time. I know watches were made by men, but God created time. That has been an amazing time and even an eye-opener, even for myself as an individual. I have many things I need to go and check in. Anyway, we'll be joining you for the Crossroads segment. I hope you've learned, and I hope now you're ready to lead self. Welcome, thank you. This is the Crossroad segment. Someone said that the greatest thing that can happen to a man is to discover these 2 days, the day when you're born and also discover why you're born. Those are the 2 greatest days in a man. When you answer the question, why am I here? So many things also fall in place because you begin to understand that there is an assignment, and that assignment is tied to a deposit of grace that has always been in you. The Lord meets Jeremiah, and the Lord has to introduce Jeremiah to Jeremiah, because there is a tendency that men might think we are who we are because of the biases of life. And the Lord tells Jeremiah, before I formed you in your mother's womb, before you existed, before you came as a form, you are first an idea in God. And he said, in your mother's womb, what I was designing is a prophet to the nations. And Jeremiah was possibly trying to raise his predicaments and limitations. He said, don't even say that you are young, because young is not a disadvantage. I will be with you to make sure that this God-given assignment is going to be fulfilled. Today, we've learned about self-leadership. And one of the things that I've heard and I've come to understand is that it all begins in God. There was a deliverer in Moses, but Moses needed to meet God to know what he carried. Everybody has dimensions that are very unique, but it all begins in God. The confidence, the boldness, the perspective of life for us to know where we're supposed to step. Everything begins with God. Later, Jeremiah became one of the greatest Old Testament prophet. At a very young age, began to do the work of God, and he was entrusted heavily. So it is key to go to the one who knew you before you are even born. I like the words of Miles Monroe. He wrote something very powerful, and he said, the problem of the globe is leadership. But what we least attend to is that we don't even have curriculums on leadership in our institutions. And this is what he said, that a pack of lions led by a lamb will defeat a pack of lambs led by a lion. My name is Pastor Tim Mwangi, and I hope that you're going to have a blessed weekend. Thank you for the guys behind the camera and the people that facilitate the production. Thank you to Angaza, and thank you to KBC. God bless you. Till next Saturday. See you then.